Welcome to the Biz Bash podcast, where we make biz strategy a piece of cake. I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Cami, but you might know us better as Eliza Ann Calligraphy and Cami Monet. We want to help you, our fellow stationers, artists, and calligraphers, confidently build a profitable and personality-driven creative biz.
We're here to share our honest-to-goodness advice and actionable strategies for ambitious artists.
So put on your party hat, quit being a procrastinator gator, and let's get this party started.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Biz Birthday Bash podcast. This is always a very fun episode for us. It's our, sorry, I had to take a big breath. It's our year in review episode. So we're going to be talking all about what happened in 2021, comparing it to 2020, just a little introspective conversation. And we love to let you guys in and listen on it. I love hearing how people's years went, both financially and growth-wise, or things that didn't go so well. And it's always like a really good exercise for us too, to see, what worked, what didn't, where were some of the slower seasons, and what can we do to like make up for that. So a little brainstorming too. It's just a fun little, very chill episode with me and Elizabeth. So welcome. We're going to pull back the curtain on a lot of things, and it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, this is the one episode, pretty much like one episode each year where we really talk numbers, because we don't ever do like month breakdowns or anything like that. I know some people do that, but for Cami and I, it's always made more sense to just like combine it into a year in review. So yeah, I don't have the 2020 notes pulled up, but I know this year looks a lot different. So
I did pull up the 2020 notes just because I wanted to see like what some of my numbers were from last year and like average order value and stuff that I would never go back to look at. And I was like, oh, that's cool. There was growth there, or seeing, what kind of changed. So I did pull up a few, and I have some of my other stats pulled up in case I need to access them quickly.
Oh, great. That's very good. I threw a little screenshot into the Google document, but even that's not completely updated because it's from a few days ago.
It's hard to get everything like cumulative because there's not like something that aggregates all the information together from all the different channels and different things. Like financially, yes, but like other stuff is just kind of like my best guess. Or I can look at Etsy stats really easily, but that doesn't account for my Shopify stats. And like I'm like, how do I combine this into like one report? If somebody does that as a service, holla at your girl, because I would be very interested in that.
I know that Carly Zurcher is doing my Canopy, that's going to be showing all of your orders in one place for multiple platforms. But I would assume at some point she'll try to build reporting in, because I think that's been a pain point for people, is not being able to see it in one place. So
you know what? I think my ShipStation would, because we do run all of our orders, even wholesale, through there. So I feel like there would be some inventory stuff in there. I just haven't like explored the full depth of ShipStation. I feel like there's a lot more I could be using it for.
It is so robust. I like skim the surface of using. All I do is like occasionally ship a package through there, because like I don't even have Shop synced anymore, but I still like keeping it because it's so convenient.
I know. It's so nice. So yeah, they do have like inventory stuff in there. I need to look into that more. Maybe I'll do that in my downtime. No, I won't, but I'll tell someone else to do that. Jacqueline, if you're listening, find out more ShipStation can do.
Yes, exactly. So where do we want to start? Do we want to start with like our overview of things we did this year, or do we want to just like jump into the financials first and then do
I don't know. What do you think?
I feel like let's start with month by month, and then we'll get kind of warmed up, because that's going to put it in context for anyone who hasn't caught up listening or is jumping in now. Then you can hear how our year has played out, and it'll give you more context for the financials at the end.
Yeah, I think that's good too. Plus, it's just like, it feels very abrupt to just like jump right into numbers and stats.
Here's how much revenue I made this year.
I don't know. It just feels weird. So let's just start at the beginning, which is January 2021. And I like suck at thinking back what happened in the year. Like, I'm like, what happened? But Elizabeth is always like so good at remembering stuff.
Because I put everything in my calendar, Cami. All I do is go back through Google, and I was like, oh, yeah, I did that, and I did that. And that's literally how I put this together.
Well, I'm going to pull up one specific stat that I definitely want to bring up. Because one of the things about my January this year that I thought was super weird, it was January for me was one of the biggest I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull up something. One of the biggest sales months I've ever had on Etsy. And January is usually like the worst, right? Like it's literally always so slow. There's like no sales, but my January was like massive, like bigger than my December. And so I was like, oh shoot, like if my January is this big, like think how big the rest of my year is going to be. So I basically based all my yearly predictions off my January growth. And it was very sad because it was like huge spike in January and then kind of like went back down to like a normal level, and it really bummed me out.
Oh,
So, I know. Like January was banana pancakes. Like here's my stat from January 2020 to 2021. The revenue increased 2,727%, and the visits increased 1,884%.
wow.
Orders increased 3,000%. Like that is huge numbers, right? Like
yeah. So specifically comparing the
Januaries. And I feel January we're always like, oh, it's a weird month. The holidays are over. Like nobody's buying anything. And mine was huge. And I wasn't like expecting that. So I was like, oh my gosh, the rest of the year is going to be crazy. I'm going to make $1 million. But I did not make $1 million.
Yeah, that is so interesting. Kind of a funny fluke. Was there a lot of wholesale in there? Do you know how that breaks
that's
down?
just pretty much Etsy. Mostly Etsy was like the big
featured in something, and you didn't even realize it.
Yeah, I don't know, but it wasn't like one specific product.
Yeah,
it was just like Valentine's Day was popping off in January. Was that when people got like stimulus checks or something? Like that's the only other thing I can think of. Like people felt confident in spending.
Maybe. I can't remember how the months break down, but getting one in January sounds like it might have happened.
So it was something going crazy in January.
Of 2021 specifically. Huh.
Yeah.
Wild times. Okay, so Cami had a crazy January to start this year. And you also hired your bookkeeper.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was in January. I'm not 100% positive, but I'm pretty sure that's
it was either, I can tell you because I always know these things.
You'll know.
It was either December or January because they pulled the entire like year review for you. So this is why I actually think it was December, because you were like, it was actually really nice to have a side-by-side look to be affirmed that you had done everything right before like filing your taxes and all of that stuff.
Yeah. So it was right around this time. So that was a good move, hiring Kickstart Accounting as my bookkeeping services, especially like as the business has grown and changed so much this year. It's been nice to have like that base.
Yes, definitely needed. And that was great because we met her, Danielle, the woman who started that company, through the podcast. She like pitched us, and now Cami's one of her clients. So
yes,
she was a great episode. We should have them back. Okay, so my January was, which is so weird to even think back on now, that I was still doing wedding work at that point. So I had a few different clients underneath my belt at that time and was kind of wrapping all of that stuff up. So the first half of the year, I was pretty much still focused on getting like some of that stuff out of the door because there had been some carryover from 2020 weddings. But that was also the month I flew to LA to film Learn Letterpress with Britt for her course, Britt of Swell Press. And at that point, like, nobody knew about any of that. It wasn't until like July, I think, that I even like announced that I had been working on courses for other people. So that was very fun. It was a nice break. It was also weird though, because with COVID and everything, I remember the airport and the city still being like so quiet when I was there, just like different. I feel like things even throughout 2021 have kind of continued to like open up a bit more.
Yes, for sure. And that's when you kept everything so secretive that you were helping with that. I was like, Elizabeth, just tell everyone that you did this. Like,
Yeah.
I was so mad. I'm not good at secrets. So
No one knew until July.
oh my gosh.
I swear, if I ever have a kid, no one's going to know until I actually pop it out.
They're like 5 years old and be like, so-and-so is starting kindergarten today. And I'll be like, what?
Yeah. So, okay. So how was your February?
Okay.
It doesn't look like February, March, and April.
I didn't write down anything for February, March, and April because I don't remember what I did. Well, I did. Okay. So January and February was when I launched party pennants for the first time this year. That's what I meant to write down. So that's like a huge, it's not really an achievement. It's just a big point in my product journey because those really changed the game for the direction of my business. So I introduced party pennants as like on a whim, basically being like, well, I'll just see how this goes. Like I had the idea in December. Like if you look back at my old Christmas pictures from last year, there is like the cutout party pennant like in the backdrop because I wanted to do them for Christmas, didn't pull myself together. I was like, I'll do it for Valentine's Day. And I think that kickstarted wholesale a lot for me because it was a really unique product that you couldn't find wholesale. Like no one was doing these little pennant things wholesale. So we gained a ton of new accounts in January and February with that party pennant introduction. And then that just started the spiral of party pennants and ribbons and the worst / greatest idea I've ever had. I always get so mad because I'm like, I can paint really, really amazing things like really well. And then my best-selling thing is something that's literally just ribbons on a stick. Freaking party pennants. So yeah, that was pretty much my February was just selling those for Valentine's Day and then dreaming up like, oh, what does this look like as my products start to shift into this like party idea?
Yeah, because then in March there was the lucky one. In April there were the Easter ones, and so you were kind of like
garden collection,
building momentum through all of that. Oh, the Rainbow Garden collection! That was so great.
I love that one so much.
I'm just like excited.
I'm looking at my Instagram to see when everything was released. So
see, there you go. That's your own little like library. Yeah. Mine's my Google Calendar, and Cammie's is her Instagram.
Yeah.
My February was mainly spent focusing on getting all of the Learn Letterpress content up onto Britt's course website. So I was building all of that out because it was my first time doing it for anybody. So kind of figuring out how I wanted that to look, providing feedback for the edits. And I also did a Jimmy Choo live art event this year, which also doesn't make sense in my brain at all. That does not feel like that happened this year. But those events have like always paid well. I would happily keep doing those, to be honest, if people were asking me to do them, because I think I just pretty much sat there and read my book most of the time, and I maybe wrote like 3 things. My Jimmy Choo events have always been super chill. So that was my points for February.
That is like the best when you just get paid to do nothing.
Yeah, I just sat there.
Yep. Okay, so moving on, February, March. Okay, so March is when I released the spring collection, the rainbow butterfly garden. I don't even remember what I called it anymore, but anyway, I released that collection. I was super, super proud of that collection with all the different butterflies. That's when I kind of went butterfly crazy. I was like butterfly bonanza. And I had all those new stir sticks, all the butterfly stuff, all the rainbow stuff. Like I got super into that color palette. And I started working with House of Fete. That was like partially a collaboration with them, with their party stylists. I think I've talked about them before, but they're just great gals. I love working side by side with them. So working with them to get some new products. And that was really helpful too in kind of, getting some new eyes on my products and a different audience through a different way. Like it was like a styled shoot, but with products versus weddings. So it was like a different avenue that I never even thought to explore. But it ended up being really beneficial for just getting new eyes on things and furthering that direction of my business into the party space.
Yes. So many party things. It's just been fun. Well, we also did our Get Lucky campaign for Biz Birthday Bash, specifically only for our A to Z directory members. So that was kind of fun to do something special for them. We mailed out, they had to like sign up, and we mailed out a bunch of mailers, and it was like 3 lucky people got a golden shamrock. It took forever for you guys to come forward and tell us that you had a golden shamrock.
We were like,
people,
okay.
we were like, hello, is anyone out there? We knew who had like won because we had randomly drawn names and stuck them in the envelope. So like we knew who they were going to, but it was just like us waiting around to see who got them. And that month was also the month that I went to Wilmington, North Carolina for Will's best friend to get married. So that's more of like a personal note. But once again, there's just like wedding things happening in between in these months for me, but I can't like pinpoint exact dates, I guess.
Yeah. So, there was wedding things happening too, and I don't know. I think I'm just like blocked all them all in my memory at this point.
Right? I know.
Like, I can't. I
feel similarly sometimes. I'm like, I get those like horror flashbacks because I'm like, should I start some Etsy listing for some Glowforge place cards for weddings? And then I'm like, do I really want to deal with weddings? Do I want to do that to myself again?
I know. I still have one bride emailing me about like art files, and I'm like, please stop. It's December 22nd. I do not know. Your wedding's in like 15 days. Like, let me be pregnant in peace, please. Oh my gosh.
Pregnant in peace. I love it.
I know. Okay. So are we on April?
We are.
Okay. April. This is an exciting month because that's when I accidentally adopted Newton. Big Newton.
That was this year. I thought that was in 2020. Oh my gosh.
No, that was this year when I brought the cat in from the backyard, and now he's our little orange ginger cat.
That is crazy.
I know. So that was in April is when I adopted Newton, little Figgy. We call him Pig Newton actually because he like snorts. It's really cute. So little Pig Newton was adopted in April. So added a third cat like a psychopath. But I knew as soon as I fed him, Alex was like, crap, she's going to bring him inside. But it was him who actually brought him in, not me. Like we went and got him fixed at the vet. And Alex was like, well, we can't leave him out here. Like, let's just bring him in. And then I knew once we brought him inside, he would never go outside.
You guys need you need to get a litter robot. So Will and I got one for ourselves. It's like a self-cleaning litter robot. And with the baby coming, you guys will probably love it.
Do you like it? I've always heard mixed reviews on it.
Zuko has been using it like pretty regularly and super well. Azula is more hesitant because she's like 15. So it's been hard to teach an old cat new tricks.
Yeah.
And we still, because she has had multiple UTIs in the past, we just like get worried about her. So we still have the other boxes out for her to have locations. And to get them to like specifically only use the litter robot, you're supposed to like take all of them away, and we can't get ourselves to do it because we're worried about her. Does
it like flip around when they go to the bathroom?
But it's so quiet. Like I'll have to videotape ours.
Yes, please do. I'm like, yeah. I mean, I kind of understand how it works, but and then you just like take it out.
Yeah, I did a lot of research because it turns and it sifts it and it drops it into the base where there's like a plastic bag that after it fills, you just bag it up and take it out and you put a new plastic bag in.
Maybe I'll get one for Alex for Christmas.
Yeah, it is very clever. It would fit. I think it would fit in that spot that you have in the bathroom. I don't think you would have a problem with it. So I don't know. Something to think about. I will send you some videos. But yes,
right.
Pig Newton came in April.
Yes, Pig Newton. So that's pretty much all I have for April, I think. Okay. I remember.
That's
more party penance.
Totally fine. More party penance. So April, I made a pretty funny note, a funny sad note, that I had canceled a contract and refunded a wedding invitation client because things were not going well. The save the date process had already been hard and I pushed through it and I felt bad with all of the 2020 stuff. I didn't want to like fire them. I was like, I'm going to stick this out and I'm just going to like try and do my best. And I sent off the sketches and they were like, no, which is a really short way of telling the story because they really sent me like a novel. They're like, either you refund us our money or fix these like 12 things. And I was like, here's your refund. So yes, that was the probably first and last time that I will ever break up with a client, I guess, in that manner, at least for weddings. So it was kind of nice to clear the air and let them go. But then I went to Nashville with Kelsey Kelly in April. That was super fun to have a weekend with her. And at this point, I started work with Kaylee from Mulberry Market Designs to work on her sign course. So yeah, I booked another client and then I was excited about that. So that was how April shaped up for me.
Yeah, see, like your business is all doing all these little pivot things too the first half of the year, just like mine was. It's just so crazy. We both were like kind of just letting wedding invitations kind of taper off. So, craziness.
Bye-bye weddings.
Bye-bye weddings. I would still bring weddings back, just not in my current season of life, but I would. Okay, so then May. Obviously, One a Day in May, which is the most fun month of the year for everybody. So we did One a Day in May. I launched my Star Spangled Summer collection. That was one of my best-selling collections ever, and I was super, super proud of that one. And that one just really kicked off my relationships with more bloggers and influencers and content creators. So that was like a huge turning point, a huge stepping stone for getting more into the product space. And then, of course, created the infamous table runner product category. So that was when I first did a table runner and those kind of took off. So I guess I've added 2 product categories at this point, like the party pennants. Oh, and I added cups too. Party pennants, party cups, and the table runners. So those were 3 things I added to my line this year, 3 new categories. The Star Spangled Summer collection was the one that really like solidified that. I was really proud of that collection. I really loved it. And I think other people really went berserk over it too, because there's really not a whole lot out there that was like super patriotic, like in the, I don't know, small biz space, I guess. So it was a fun one to do. And it was fun to work with those colors, you know, a little different.
Yeah. Really,
so that
really
was May. And then I guess I made a baby in May because that's something else I did in May.
I was about to ask that, like when you found out you were pregnant, because when you told me very early June, it was before I left on my trip. I thought at that point you were 5 weeks.
Yeah, I found out June 1st I was pregnant. So in May, you know, just making one a day in May.
So maybe you did. Okay, but you wouldn't have been 5 weeks. If you told me the first week of June, you wouldn't have been 5 weeks then. So maybe you weren't actually 5 weeks.
No, it's kind of weird how pregnancy works. Like even it's like literally from like the day you miss your period, it's like starts with the 4 weeks. It's kind of confusing. It doesn't really make sense. It's like really you're not pregnant until like 4 weeks. Like
okay, interesting.
Yeah. But it starts from like the day you like your last period was. Sorry, boys, if you're listening. So that would have been May 1st for me. So June 1st would have been 4 weeks pregnant.
Yeah. Hey, if the boys are listening, they need to know this information just as much as we do, okay? So
yeah, it's kind of weird.
Now they're even more educated about it.
There you go.
I have so many lady things. If we did a whole episode on just lady things, I would love it. I can talk that stuff all day. So okay, so May, for me, the only note that I wrote down was that Gilligan was gone. He was gone at the very beginning of May. And like work-wise, I didn't have a ton of stuff written because I would have still been just doing a lot of behind the scenes on weddings and on Kaylee's course at that point. And then I don't think we relaunched Britt's course until July. So that is coming. But June, I also was just like on vacation, and that's all I wrote for June.
Yeah, good. Nice vacation. I feel like June is when the only point of the year on I remember, because that's when we found out we were pregnant. And so now that's why I don't remember anything before that, because I just have no idea. So June 1st was when I found out we were having a baby. So that was very exciting. Best June ever. And then Alex and I had our 6-year anniversary in Key Largo at Bungalows, which was really nice. And it was just like a really fun little getaway to talk about becoming parents and things like that. So June was pretty much just all focused on that. We also flew up to Tennessee and surprised my family to tell them the good news. And so, yeah, June was basically just all of that. And I was doing all kinds of wedding stuff in between this, and it was, it was a lot. Like, I remember June just being a very, very busy month. And we had the Spangled summer collection that was like selling primarily in June. So there was lots of orders to pack up. I didn't have any help at that point, and I was literally drowning. But I was ignoring all the drowning because I was so in a state of bliss. So I just ignored all of work basically and got a little crazy when I got back at the end of June. Was a little chaotic for me.
Yes. And I was going to say, because you went up to Tennessee to surprise your parents and tell them, would that have also happened in June?
Oh, wait, maybe that was, that was in June as well.
Okay.
I think it was like June 9th. Yeah. So we traveled like every weekend in June.
Yeah, because I think technically you like told me before you told your parents. That was crazy.
I think I told you, like the day before we left.
Because, you told me like right before we went on vacation because you were like,
I didn't want to wait till
yeah, you're like, I can't have you be gone for like 2 weeks and wait to tell you after. So.
Yes.
Yeah. But I think Alex's parents knew at that point. You'd given them like the party pennant and everything.
Yeah, we pretty much told them the same day. I just wanted to tell my parents in person. So I had to wait for a flight. Oh.
Okay, so then July, let's see. Why don't you do your July?
Okay, so July is when I started looking for an outside office space because I was like, I want to hire help, but because June was ridiculous with Star Spangled Summer, and I was like, but I don't want people in my house. And that's when we started looking for an office space, like more seriously. So we spent probably about a week or so just driving around, looking at different spaces, meeting up with different landlords, getting tours of places, just keeping an eye out anywhere in our area, scoping out Craigslist, all that kind of stuff. And Alex found the building we're in now actually on Craigslist. And I was like, that is actually a really cute building. And like literally called the dude that day. And I was like, I want to meet you in 30 minutes. And he was like, 30 minutes? I was like, yes, right now. Like, I want to go see it. So that's when we first saw this space was like mid-July. Because I signed the lease July 19th. And then in July also, I started working with Papyrus, or maybe it was in June, actually, this started. But most of the work was in July. I started working with Papyrus on May and June.
Stuff.
I had a bunch of other Papyrus projects. They all backed up around each other. There was like, remember all this custom work that was happening all at once and I was freaking out? Now it's all coming back to me. Okay. So then I was working on this full holiday collection for Papyrus. It's like 13 different holiday gift bags, but it was like the most chaotic project. There was so much going on and it was really difficult to try to manage all these custom projects. And I had some custom clients as well. I think I got out like 2 wedding suites in July and August.
That sounds about right, honestly.
2 or 3.
There was a lot happening.
Yeah, it was a lot. There was a lot going on. So June, July, and August were honestly just a whirlwind of getting things out of the way, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I was gone for 2 weeks of June. And so like basically the whole month was pointless. Except amazing because I was on vacation. And then July was when I was in Florida filming Kaylee's sign making course. So that was the second filming trip I had got to go on that year. So that was really fun. And then at the end of the month, I was in Colorado for my dad's 60th birthday. So that was like a really big deal. Happy birthday, Dad. I love you. He doesn't listen to this, guys, because we laugh too much. That's like he's like, you and Cammie just laugh so much on your podcast. I'm like, well, Dad, you're not the main demographic. So and then I was working at this point on my all-time favorite wedding suite, which was my brother's invitations. Him and his wife, Alyssa, got married in September. So like July, especially right after getting back from vacation and until July was like the really big push to get his stuff done, to get it mailed out, trying to get it mailed out right around the 2-month, like 6, maybe even 6 to 8 week mark prior to their wedding in September, because guys, they got engaged on Mother's Day and got married on Labor Day weekend. So it was like a 4-month engagement. But definitely my favorite of all time. And it was a good one to end on because that was like the very last one that I ever sent out, at least currently. So it felt really good to end on that one and all the day of stuff that I did for them too. And then we opened Learn Letterpress for Brit during the month of July. But yeah, that was my July.
Yeah, that's a nice, good July right there.
It was busy.
Okay, so moving on to August. This is like the only point on in my life I remember what's happening. Okay, so August is when we leased the building officially. My lease started August 1st, but my landlord let me like move stuff in a little earlier. So we were moving all the stuff in from my office into the space. Oh my gosh, that I even just thinking back on that makes me so freaking tired thinking about it. Like that was exhausting, and trying to put up all these shelves and getting things repainted, and oh my goodness, that was a lot. Okay, so we leased the building. I ended up hiring Julianne and Annie, so I hired 2 more girls for the Cameo Day team. And so we had in-person help, and so I was training them, and that was just crazy. But honestly, it was like very seamless. Like it all worked out pretty good. But it was definitely a little bit of chaos in August, just like figuring out how to get the space the way I want it to look, and dreaming about the store. Should I even do a store? And then I was like, yeah, we're doing the store. So lots of things happening in August, mostly just revolving around this building.
Yep. And it all looks so pretty. Okay. August, for Biz Birthday Bash, we interviewed and hired a Pinterest assistant, which she was able to work for us through the end of December. And for various reasons, just with other work and stuff, that she is pursuing other things, but she was so wonderful for that time, and we might open that position to somebody else. We haven't like formally decided on that end yet, but Biz Birthday Bash finally got a Pinterest account, guys. So big deal. And then August was the month that Kaylee's course went live after we did all of the edits and I built the website out and everything. So once again, more like back-end work, and I was cutting and peeling a million little Fox place cards for my brother's wedding during the month of August, and tying ribbon until like midnight on many nights. And I was like, why did I do this to myself? I put ribbon on everything for the day of goods. Literally everything had ribbon on it, but it was so worth it. So,
oh yeah, those were so cute. Oh my gosh, but ribbon, truly the worst. I agree.
The worst. So, okay, September,
I can't remember if it was actually this is the story of my life. Well, I can't remember exactly what has happened, but I don't know if it was end of August or September. But Jacqueline, my virtual assistant, ended up moving down here and literally lives across the street. And so she moved down here, I think it was September. So then we had our full house of team members working here. And I was like, well, we just literally went from 0 to like having 4 people in this building. Like, this is so crazy. So that was very exciting. And then obviously found out it was a girl. So then I couldn't think about anything else for like, I still don't think about anything else. So that was my exciting September. So then we were just all like figuring out protocols and how to work well together, and just, getting the overall flow down pat. And I think we did the Halloween collection, the Spooky Cute collection, which was, remember I said Star Spangled was our biggest launch. Well, then Spooky Cute came along and knocked that one out. So then that was the biggest collection. And September was going gangbusters. And then as soon as October 1st hit, I didn't sell any more of the Spooky Cute collection. It was like literally a hard stop. I was like, what is going on? So
October 1st, like, before Halloween.
Yeah. Like it was so weird. Like September, we were like, this is going to be amazing. I was like, we haven't even hit October yet. Like imagine October, because that's when everyone's really thinking Halloween. Nope. It was like by October, everyone was like full Christmas. It was so weird. So weird.
Yeah.
I can't figure out how the buying season works. I swear it's different every year.
Yeah, it is. I think it's definitely different every year. And there's so much of like a cultural dynamic that plays into that, just like where people's heads are and like what they're thinking about. Because I feel like the past 2 years, Christmas has been just early, because I think by that time of the year, people were like, I just want to think about anything else. And so Christmas, October 1st is Christmas.
October 1st is Christmas. And I was like preparing for a month more of like Spooky Q and like, you know, launching Christmas. I did launch Christmas pretty early this year. I think I launched it in October because I was like, shoot, we got to move right now.
Yeah.
Because I was working on Christmas in September and October, and I thought I was doing really good on being early. But
I want to say that your Christmas collection was like the very first week of November.
no, it was actually October 20th.
Okay. There you go. Yeah.
It was October. Yeah.
It had a 2 in it. It just was, okay.
We are launching before Halloween because I was like, everyone's even caring about Halloween. So it got me all jacked up, but I wish I waited till November 1st. I don't know. I really don't know, honestly.
Yeah. It's hard. It's like, there's never going to be that one perfect day for that stuff. So you just do your best. Okay. September for me. Well, for both of us, so we did Mock Up Madness in September, which we love you guys so much, but we'll probably never offer anything for free like that again, if we're being totally honest. When Cammie and I debriefed about that afterwards, we're like, man, that was like really fun for everyone who got to take it, but that was like a lot on us during that time. And I was like, well, I was pushing Cammie really hard too because she only had a million things on her plate.
please no.
I was like, we have to do something before the year's over. Help me, sir. So anyways, we did that. And I went to my brother's wedding, which finally happened. Labor Day weekend, he got married exactly the same day I got married 6 years ago. So now we share the anniversary, September 6th. So technically he got married on my like golden anniversary or whatever, because it was like Will and I's 6th year being married. And then the day after we got back from the wedding, a really bad storm hit Marietta and like swept our retaining wall off of our driveway. So that's why like the way that Cammie is with like moving into her studio, I feel like I am with our retaining wall. Like I feel like it's like pre-retaining wall disaster and post-retaining wall disaster is like how this year has been separated in my head. But guys, we have the permits submitted. They got submitted last week. By the time this is airing, just like do a prayer that we have the approvals by the time this airs to like rebuild the wall. Build back better, if you will.
Oh my gosh.
So, anywho, that was my September.
Yeah, that was not fun. Then September for you.
Lots of tears. Yeah, lots of tears. I was
lots
ticked.
of tears. Yes. Oh my gosh. Wait, I thought you mean October. What are we doing in September or October right now?
I just finished my September.
Oh, okay.
So now it's your turn to do October.
I was yammering about October, my last thing, so I don't even know.
Well, no, you had said you were like spooky cute stuff stopped selling October 1st.
Stop selling. Okay, yeah. So then I was like, oh shoot, we're going to do Christmas. And then I pretty much did I made that North Pole map all in October. That's what I did. I just painted that and stressed out about it all day. So it took me forever to do that. That was really fun though. I really love it. And I think I wrapped up my last wedding project in October. That is actually a lie. It was November. Just kidding. And then in October, we had a ton of prep work to get the store open. Like I just remember being like, Alex, we got to get a card wall. I got to get the floor and I need you to do the ceiling. So Alex, poor Alex. Alex did a lot in September and October because I really wanted to have the storefront open by November-ish so we could at least, have some Christmas crowd in here. And also I was like, opening the store around Christmas time is going to be really easy in terms of decor and making it look full because I can put Christmas trees everywhere. And so it is really easy. And now I have to take down the Christmas trees and I don't know what I'm going to do. But so October was just a ton of prep work, getting the store ready, looking up barcode things and point of sale system and figuring all that crap out. So yeah, getting all the, I almost said appliances. That's not the word I'm looking for. Displays and furniture in there, trying to find things that'll work. It's definitely tricky. And you guys know with like furniture also has been taking like a million years to arrive. So I didn't have the capability to like order something that I loved online and wait 6 months. I didn't have that. So I was like, IKEA, what do you got? Or Home Goods or Goodwill. So yeah, that was kind of fun to pull that together super fast. As I always do with everything.
Yeah, as you do with everything.
As one does, yes.
I just have to say, like, shout out to Alex. I think he does kind of deserve the MVP award for Cami Monet this year.
Always. He's the MVP all the time in my life. So he really always goes above and beyond.
Completely.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about like our husbands like a ton here, but they support us so well and so much. So we love you, Alex and Will. You guys are great. They don't listen either. It's fine.
Alex listens occasionally. And then he's like, oh my gosh, I'm
sorry,
to my wife.
Alex. Yeah.
Like a goofball all the time. But yes. He really is amazing.
Okay. Moving on to November. I'll start November. October for me, actually, I don't want to skip that. Kaylee's course, we reopened it. And then October was the month where I cleaned out all of my Thank You Society items and closed my Thank You Society Shopify account. So that went bye-bye because that just wasn't where my like heart and my focus was anymore at that point. And I don't know, I think I'm just so different from Cami. Like, I don't have a heart for products. I always like dream up like fun products that I think would be fun to sell. And then I like try to sell them and I'm like, I hate this.
I hate this.
So I just like I just like don't feel like I have like the muscle for that from a business perspective, but that's okay. And then November, so many things happened that overlapped for Cami and I because it was her baby shower. So I was down there for her baby shower weekend and her sip and shop event. And we did a whole episode recapping that if you guys want to hear all about it.
Yeah. So November, I can remember November, you guys. That wasn't that long. I am so bad at remembering stuff. So yeah, November baby shower, like Elizabeth mentioned, she was here. And then I had our sip and shop, which is basically our unofficial grand opening of the storefront, which was on November 17th. Like we were like kind of open before then, but like nobody knew we were here. So that was like, I was like, we got to, kind of come on the scene with a little bit of a bang, which was super fun. So that was November 17th is when I'm making it my official opening date of the shop. So the store was open for business. So pretty much November was just getting Christmas out the door, having customers in the shop, that kind of thing. Thanksgiving, we were here for Thanksgiving. So we didn't travel to Tennessee, went to Birmingham, went to Barber for race weekend for Alex. But yeah, I think that's pretty much November.
Yeah, and Cami was not packing all of her things this year because she had extra help, and it kind of changed her life. It really not kind
did.
Of, it did.
It did. It did change my life. I was like, guys, this is okay. We can talk about this too, but it honestly has been a very weird Christmas season. Like I do feel like it was slower. I mean, not slower, just in terms of what the growth typically is year over year. We still grew, but not at the rate we should have been. Like, I still feel like there was a dip. Like, month over month, I'm like, oh, okay, this is going to be this. So November, December will have that same kind of trend. But everyone has been like, this is just a weird year. I don't know what the deal is, but it's definitely been a very weird buying season for the holidays. I don't know if you guys felt that this year too, but it just felt like people were tired is what it felt like.
Yeah, tired is a good word to put it. And I mean, I know I'm just one consumer out of the 380 million Americans in this country, but I was actually like, once again, thinking about Christmas very early. So the majority of my Christmas shopping was done before Thanksgiving. A lot of it even before November. So like maybe other people were kind of just like thinking ahead, or maybe this year people are gifting like experiences now that things are opening up again, or just like being with each other is enough, because there was half of me this year that was like, can I just like ask my family if like we don't have to do gifts? To kind of like that feeling of being tired. So maybe all of that contributes a little bit.
Yeah, that, and we've talked about this before, how much Instagram has changed so much this year too. And I think it definitely affected sales and things for makers this season. It just felt like pulling teeth. And before, it felt really easy. Like, it was very easy to sell stuff in November, December. It was just like smooth sailing and it was fun. And then this year just kind of felt like pulling teeth, even though you had like a really great product, but you're like, no one is seeing the things I'm making. Yep. So
it has really been crazy because people, even with really large audiences, can't even get their stuff seen by people at all. So like, obviously another thing that happened in November for me was that I booked Nat of Papel & Co. So we just did her registration and just like speaking to her early bird and speaking to a little bit of like that weirdness on Instagram, like the engagement, she was telling me like her numbers, like how many people would see her Instagram stories, like a couple hundred people. And she has a really big following. And so it was just a very frustrating, I think, for a lot of makers like this fall. I don't know, Cami, you tell me if you think this has changed anything, but the fact that everyone has links now, which I always hated that you had to get to 10,000 followers to be able to swipe up for things in the first place. I thought that was stupid. But I think now that Instagram has leveled the playing field, they have basically made it like pay to play, essentially.
Yeah, maybe so. I also feel like the link button is not as effective as the swipe up. Like, I don't feel like people want
engage
to
as much.
Engage on those. Like, it's like dismal when you look at like people don't click on it. But when you say swipe up, it's like so much easier, but no one clicks on the link button and it's always like in a weird spot. You can't find it or it's too small. I don't know. It's like people haven't like grasped that you click on this link button.
Because you can put the link button anywhere you want, and the swipe up was always in the same spot every single time. And so from a learning, like from a behavioral standpoint, everyone can learn that behavior of like swiping up. But
swiping
then
up is so easy. You'd be like, oh, I like that, swipe up. But now you're like, where's the button? Like, it just doesn't.
And swipe up is something that they use for ads. And that's why I'm like, I feel like they purposely took that away from people.
It's really annoying. I don't like it.
I'm telling you, those sneaks. I already deleted the app, y'all. Like, I'm heading into the new year, like, completely social free. Like, I might look at it at my desk on my desktop occasionally, but like Pinterest, Instagram, Reddit, TikTok, all of that is like off of my phone currently, and I'm on grayscale mode because I felt like my brain was literally rotting, Cami. I was like, my brain is literally rotting, and I already feel so much better, even in like the 3 or 4 days now that I have like started my cleanse. So,
oh my goodness, good.
Back to feeling like myself. But talk more about if you have any other stuff for like November and December. Feel free to finish your thoughts.
Let's see. So December, we're obviously still in December, but I finished my last 3 custom projects for a good long while. So that's very exciting. I had
the applause.
3 pet portraits that I literally took like 6 months to do. And I was like, I will have them to you by Christmas. That's the only guarantee. And everyone was like, that's fine. I was like, it might take me in December. And they were like, that's fine. And I, you know what? It did take me till December to get to them. But I finally finished all those up. So I have no custom things on my plate except for one thing next year. But we'll worry about that later. Not for a while.
Yeah.
So fully wrapped up right now, which is perfect. I feel like so free. And yeah, December has been like kind of chill. I mean, obviously I'm not packing up orders, so that helps a lot with feeling a little bit more breathing room with that. So yeah, it did feel like a short buying season. Like I'm like sad right now. I'm like, oh, now the Christmas buying season's over. Like I always just love the Christmas buying season. I'm like, I don't know what that's going to look like next year with the next buying season with Valentine's Day. But we got some stuff in the works. So we shall see. So I've kind of spent December planning for new stuff in the shop. Like Elizabeth, look at these cute little things we're bringing in.
Sadly, your camera is so blurry. It's a little hard for me to tell.
It's a disco ball drinks thing with a straw.
Okay.
So we have all these like different fun things coming in. Oh, it's like picking for like.
It looked like a glittery like soccer ball because it's kind of blurry.
Basically what it is. So all kinds of little fun party goods coming in to the shop. So I've just been having fun playing around with that and being like, well, how am I going to fill space without having Christmas trees, basically?
Yeah.
So
right.
So yeah, planning for that, planning for having a baby, and with seeing how that goes with my business, and just planning for being away, basically.
Yeah, I know. That's the next big thing for sure.
Yes.
I know it's kind of like it's so crazy to think like mid-January you could have your baby. Like
I
she might be
know.
early.
She could be here any minute.
Let's see. So December has overall been like pretty chill for me as well. I think my biggest realization this December specifically has been, well, first of all, that I just like hate social media and want to blow it up. Okay, let's be honest. I've been like that for forever.
Yeah, I was like, this is not new.
This is not new, feeling more so this year, but a general feeling of kind of what I was telling Cammie of like burnout combined with like boredom almost of like, I think that there is another new thing for me on the horizon, even beyond just the course stuff. Like, I think that has been so wonderful for me this year, pivoting away from wedding work and having things underneath my belt that are still allowing me to move forward and make money and obviously help like Will and I support our household and all of that. But I have some ideas for 2021, the things that I might want to like pursue and do as well. But the crazy thing is that if I like pursue and do them, I'm going to be doing them for me and not for like social media, not for other people. I think like that's the biggest thing that I want to focus on going into like next year. So December has been slower, but we did launch Nat's course, Nat of Papel & Co., her Plant and Grow course. We did early enrollment. So that was exciting and still went really great regardless of like Instagram being dumb. So it's a good note to end on that, and we'll film her stuff in January. So my January is already shaping up to be pretty hectic. So I could potentially be in like 3 different states in January. We'll see. Yeah, Florida, Colorado, maybe Ohio. So
you usually hate January, so at least your January is going to be like fun this year.
January will be better because I will also be in Colorado for New Year's Eve. And that's going to just make a big difference too, to be like with Will and family somewhere else instead of just like the 2 of us in our home with bad weather on January 1st because I hate it.
Oh my gosh.
But the days are already getting longer, baby. Winter solstice was yesterday when we were recording this. So yeah.
Oh, that is true. That is true. So you don't like when it gets dark early?
I mean, I've settled into it now and I feel like it's cozy. But at first, like those first couple of weeks are so hard, like in November when it switches. And that's like, oh, like my soul crushes a little. And then I get my winter routine back kind of just in time for the days to start getting longer. Exactly.
I just like hate going to the gym when it's dark. I'm like, oh, it's dark. I can't go to the gym. I have to go home. Like,
yep.
Oh, but you just, whatever. You get over it.
Absolutely. So yeah, that kind of like wraps things up for me. And let's do number breakdowns and finance stuff, and then we can talk about what we're looking forward to. I guess I think most people already know.
Okay, I have to take a potty break.
Okay, that's totally fine.
Hold on, 1 second.
Taking a break, everybody. All right, everybody, we are back from that brief break that we needed to take because we are already about to hit an hour. So we are going to talk numbers at this point to break down the finances for our business. So Cammie, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, we can just kind of go back and forth on stuff because I pulled in some random stats because I just like looking at random stats, you guys.
Okay.
It's just fun. It's just funsies.
Well,
what?
I said, well, I'm happy to start off if you want.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So let's see. Breakdown looked different for a few things this year, obviously, because of pivots and all of that good stuff. So my revenue this year was pretty much almost exactly 80,000, like a little bit above that. So I was like, okay, like that's good with like cutting weddings out and everything. And I was very happy with my expenses because they were only 19,000 of that, which meant that my profit was 61,000. And this is for Eliza Ann specifically. So between that and our paychecks and distributions for Biz Birthday Bash, I am still hitting like right where I want to be from an income goal because yeah, I don't know. I'm just like always really happy if I'm making around that like 80 to 90,000 a year is like where I want to be and feel like that covers my living expenses and everything super well. And I don't know, I feel like I'm like sometimes different in that regard because I think like everyone has this vision of like wanting to make six figures or take home six figures. And I'm like, yeah, if I did that, that would be great. But that's never been like the goal or the end picture for me because I just like want to make a living and do what makes me happy. So I was really happy with those numbers. And when we break it down profit wise, this is crazy. So course management, I made $63,830 of revenue from that alone between my 3 clients and launching their courses and helping out with some additional projects and things like that. Anything for my like 3 clients, I kind of like booked it under that category specifically. So that was by far my biggest section. And then second biggest was still weddings. So with like $8,200-ish of income for weddings because I was still wrapping up a few things that were higher paying. So that was kind of nice. And then the Glowforge brought in $2,481, which I really wanted to make. I wanted to like make back what I spent on the Glowforge, and the Glowforge is hanging in the balance as we enter into 2021 because I'm trying to decide if I need to keep it around. It was very funny. Will and I were having that conversation earlier today because I was like, I don't know. I'm thinking about selling it. Like I have some friends who would be interested in it and I could still go over and like use it if I wanted to because they're in Georgia. But then he was also like, but it's really cool. And I was like, yeah, I know. That's why it's like hard.
I mean, you already have it now at this point. So
right at this point I already have it. Well, yeah, but you know, it's like it's taking up space, and it's like if it is going to sit there and I'm going to use it 3 times a year, it's not worth it to keep it. So that's something I have to think about and consider. I don't like when stuff takes up my space and it's not getting used. And then live art, I made $1,400, and that was just the one Jimmy Choo event that I did. YouTube, I still make money from, which is hilarious because I don't even post anything in there anymore. But I made $646 from ad revenue in YouTube, which is like, hey, like several $100s for not lifting a finger, basically. And my last category, which is like miscellaneous, was $4,000, approximately $4,000 of income. And that mostly has to be like Etsy sales that I'm doing, I think is like a big chunk of that. I didn't look at Etsy stats specifically because I don't really live on Etsy and do a ton on there. But there's probably just like other small things and Etsy orders that contribute to that 4,000. And like my whole clean out sale, like all the clean out sale stuff that I did for Thank You Society and just selling stuff from my office and inventory in general would have fallen under that category. So that's kind of how all of that breaks down. And obviously we're on payroll for Biz Birthday Bash and we like make distributions and stuff. And so at the end of the day, I'm very happy with how it all turned out. And I would love to stay at kind of like a similar points of income moving forward, but we'll see how all of that looks like as things continue to change and develop. And I'm always wanting to do something new. I get bored too easily. It's a problem.
I know. I'm like, I have no idea what's going to happen in 2022 for you, and it's very exciting. I'm like, I literally have no idea what she's gonna do. Like, I don't know. It could be anything. Like, nothing would surprise me at this point. So.
Yeah, could be anything.
Oh so my gosh. Okay, so my by the numbers, like the general overview. So my total income that my business made this year was right around $375,000, and I really wanted to hit that $400,000 mark, but was just short. But my goal this year was $300K. So did surpass my goal, which was pretty cool. And then my revenue ended up being $97K, and my goal was $100K in revenue. I think if I hadn't like opened a storefront, I could have.
Yeah, you mean like net revenue after expenses?
Yeah. Like after everything, like my take home profit, which I wanted to be that. But I think, I don't know. It's fine. So I think I could still hit that by the end of December, actually. So we'll see if I can pull that off.
Yeah.
So last year, my total revenue or total income, was $200K. So this year right at 375K, that was like almost double what we did last year, which is pretty cool. So yeah, so then next year, 2022, my goal for total income is going to be $500,000. That's my goal.
Wow, that's
I
incredible.
think I can do it. Isn't that cool? It just sounds like really fun to say.
Wow.
My goal is
Yeah.
$500,000. I don't know. Big deal. So I didn't do like a full breakdown of where every single thing come from, but every single thing came from in that sense. But I'm pretty sure it's about 30% Etsy, 30% Fair, 30% my website, and then the rest is like art licensing, influencer income, that kind of thing, just like random sales. So it's pretty evenly spaced in there. Oh, I forgot to account for like wedding stuff. But it's still about that. So probably about 30% wholesale and 60%, 50 or 60% retail, give or take with some other stuff in there. Does that make sense? Okay, yeah. I'm looking at my like spreadsheet here, trying to make sense of it all, the way it's broken down. So art licensing was around 10,000 this year. Could definitely stand to go up on that a little bit. Let's see. Where else are we at here? Let me go back to the
talking about
thing.
like your biggest expenses and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah,
too.
yeah. So my biggest expense, you guys, this is so funny. So yeah, you make almost $400,000, but then I spent $190,000 on products and shipping. So my biggest expense is my cost of goods sold. So that's like a huge thing with having a product-based business now is you have a super high expense. I mean, you do, because you gotta spend money to make money. So you are spending a ton of that money to get the products to make the money. So that's like banana pancakes to think about. But my credit card points, guys, I'm telling you, they are phenomenal.
Yeah, even if you were just getting a percent back, that's like 19 grand you would have been getting.
It's great. So definitely get a credit card if you're going to have a product-based business, because you're going to get those points for sure. So after the biggest expense of cost of goods sold, so anything that goes into making a product or shipping's also in there. Next biggest expense category is Etsy ads for me, and that's around 6% of my income, which doesn't seem like it's a huge jump from like almost 50% to 6%. So Etsy ads, and then contractors at 5%. So that's pretty much all of my team. But that'll be a little bit more skewed next year because I didn't hire anyone until halfway through the year. So it'll probably be around, I don't know, 10% or so.
Yeah.
Just doubling it. Well, hopefully if I make more, then.
Yeah. And to put it into context too, just because it's hard for people to conceptualize percentages sometimes.
Yeah.
So like for Etsy ads, you would have spent like a little over $20,000 on Etsy ads.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So contractors coming in right under that at 5%, and then my rent around 2%-ish. But that'll be more again next year. So I lease the building for half the year. Mm-hmm. So overall, if you're looking at this in like a very general term, about 10 to 12% of my revenue, my income goes to operating expenses for the business, which are the contractors, the rent, utilities, any taxes and licenses for the city, that kind of thing. Business meals, office expenses like coffee and tables and things like that. So it kind of depends on how you lump it together. So I feel like that's fairly low, in terms of operating expenses, around 10% of everything. Yeah. That's been like a reassuring number for me right now. And then some other numbers I pulled. So I always like to look at average order value, you guys, which is just basically what's the average amount that a customer spent in your shop. So if like someone comes and buys something from you, what's the amount they're going to spend? And last year, one of my big goals was to get my average order value up this year, because I'm like, I can have less people or less customers going to my website, but still making more money. So last year, my average order value is $58, and this year it's $103.65. So I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, almost
average order value going up.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so I attribute that to adding in more higher price items like the party pennants, the table runners, the cups, all those things are right around like the $30 price point. So you add on 3 of those, like 3 things, and you're like right there. So that was definitely cool. Going to try to get that up again this year. Like it's all about just getting more bang for your buck when it comes to visitors to your website. wait, do you want to go back and forth to you, or me keep going?
No. I did mine. I just blew through mine, so we're good. Mine's pretty simple.
Yeah. Okay, so retail orders this year were 6,038 retail orders. I'm pretty sure I tallied all that up correctly.
That's so cool.
And then I'm like, that seems low, but I don't know. Like, you always like think of yourself. I'm like, just like thinking, looking at this, I'm like that.
But that's like, better. Yeah. So that's about 500 orders a month, though, when you break it down. And so then if you think about that, divide 500 by 30, an average of 30 days a month. I mean, still a good amount of orders coming through. Good.
Yeah, so retail around 6,000 orders. Wholesale, I did not look up wholesale orders, but I know it was a buttload. But we went up 973% in revenue over last year with just wholesale alone. So wholesale grew a ton for me this year. It was huge. I mean, I know we were like constantly slammed with wholesale orders. I do not know how many came through. I'm sure I can figure that out, but it was a lot. And wholesale orders take a long time to pack. So lots of big boxes.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that like those are not small, like you've said, and not easy to pack. And so
some of them can have like 600 items.
Right. When you factor in the growth of wholesale, plus packing and mailing 6,000 retail orders alone, like there's a lot.
Yeah.
Going on.
The retail orders are like the easy ones to pack up. It's the wholesale ones that just take up so much time. I mean, sometimes you can only get like 2 or 3 wholesale orders out in a day. Like, it's crazy. So wholesale grew a lot for me this year. I should have looked up how many stores, but I don't really, it takes a little bit of finagling on that part too. So all of my sales channels, I said they're all about 30% of my income, so about pretty evenly split. And then brick and mortar side.
Do you have an updated wholesale like location thing on your website?
No, it's not updated. It's not up to date.
Yeah, I feel like because Instagram's gotten so crappy, like maybe that's something that you focus on in January, because if people see your stuff in person, then that like boosts your brand even more. So like knowing where to find it is really important. And then wholesalers are like, oh, she's like sharing about me on the website. Like that would be really cool to build that out.
Yeah, I don't think they look at the website, but that is something that we want to continue building out and just continue to grow. Like, there's just a lot of opportunity with wholesale to continue to grow and try to figure out how to maximize profits there. So brick and mortar side. So I opened the retail shop November 17th, you guys. It is now December 22nd while we're recording this. So in that month, we did about 7,000 in revenue. So that's pretty cool, I think, for 1 month of being open. And my goal basically with the retail space is just to pay off my rent every month. So I think it's going to be hopefully okay on that. My rent is not 7,000, so it should be all right.
Have you ever shared how much you're paying for rent? I can't remember.
I pay $1,491.
Okay.
So yes, and plus utilities and however much that is with each thing, and internet and all that fun stuff. So yes, that's just my goal with that. And so that's kind of my year by the numbers there. It's kind of intense. A lot of growth, a lot of products, and then just looking at some fun stats, I looked into which my best-selling party pennant was, and it was the first day of school party pennant.
Oh my god!
Which makes sense because I remember I was hand cutting all of those or cutting them at my house and hadn't outsourced the die cut thing yet. So that was so freaking hard, and I had no help. Oh my gosh, that was a rough time. And then first day of school, and then Mary was the second best selling one this year.
Okay.
So, makes sense, for Christmas and everything. And then after that, I think it would be any of the USA ones. The Star Spangled Banner ones. Mm-hmm. So I didn't look at the third, but yes, that's where we are. So that was my year by the numbers.
Yay. Very different. That's the thing, is that's why it's fun to share, because we have such different business models for everyone to see how it breaks down. But at the end of the day, we're both making like a living wage that we want to be making, basically.
I know. You know what's so funny is like I don't even think of what I'm making as like money. I just think of it as like I have to hit a number. Like it's like a video game for me. It's just like all a big game. Like it doesn't even matter. I literally could care less about the actual dollar amount. I'm like, I have to beat last year. I have to beat this number. Like I just get so caught up in that. I don't know what it is. I'm like so competitive with myself about
it. At a certain point, like I guess you just kind of have to decide for yourself, like yearly, what you want your salary to be. And basically feel like as long as you're making that and like staying happy with like the girls that you have hired and all of that stuff, like, and continuing to generate good revenue, like you have to decide at what point that is for you, because otherwise you're going to be like a warehouse with like 50 people. Maybe that's what you want.
I have no idea what I want. I don't think I want to be a warehouse with 50 people. I think that's a lot going on. You know me, I just like to keep growing but stay as streamlined as possible. So. Yeah. But it's pretty cool this year that the income was able to bring on 3 other people, get a building, and open a brick and mortar store on top of all that. So yeah, I am proud of that. But in my head, I'll be like, oh, if you hadn't bought that expensive thing, you could have been at 100K. I'm like, what does it matter? It's going back into your business, you crazy. Like, I don't even know. So funny. I know. Yeah. Like, I'll just return all this stuff on Amazon so I can say I hit that number. It's so stupid.
Right. That is kind of silly. That is kind of silly, I guess. I guess you'd have to like figure out why, if there is a reason.
I'm like that, you guys. I just feel like I have to hit a number. Oh my gosh.
And I just feel like once you have that in your head, that's like where you want to go. But you did hit, like, that's the thing. You did hit your goal. Or you just met the revenue, the net revenue.
The net revenue
goal. When we were using words like income and revenue, and like I always just say revenue and net revenue and profit. I tried to avoid the word income. It just confuses me.
That is what my bookkeeper uses, and all the reports say total income. And I was like, I just need to clarify. Income is like gross revenue, like the full amount of everything. And she's like, yes. And that's what it is with them. So that's why I said that.
There we go. That makes sense, because I was like, I don't remember her using like the word income last time. And now I'm just confused.
That's because all my reports say that. And so now that's in my head. I don't even remember what the actual word is. I always get so confused with like gross profit and revenue.
I know, because I always say just like revenue, expenses, and profit. And I just like try to keep it like that way in my brain.
Okay. So then okay. I could have done it that way. So it would have been the same.
Yeah. No, exactly. People will be able to listen through. They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Everyone interchanges all of these words anyways.
I know. No one even knows what's going on.
Oh, are you guys, I can't remember, because you said that you had like reclassified your LLC. So are you guys running payroll at this point?
No.
Or, like, how are you paying? Are you still paying yourself through like owner transfers, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay. That totally makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Probably it's going to change in 2022. I think. I don't know. I just hate that stuff. Ugh.
It's not that bad. Well, I'm saying it's not that bad just because we do it for Biz Birthday Bash, but I'm the one that does it. So,
I mean, my bookkeeper would do all that stuff. I just keep things simple. I hate adding in stuff, you guys.
Yeah.
But
well, you say that, but you added in a million things this year in a good way. So
no, I mean, I hate adding in anything that has to do with like paperwork wise or processes. Like that.
That's true. Once you set it up once, though, it's pretty much done.
Yeah, it's not for me.
But I get that. It's never fun.
Yeah, I just wanted to be like a little kid playing store, and I'm like, this is my money. Okay, thank you. And I have to do like anything else. Like, I don't understand. Like,
no, I totally get that. I totally get that. But you have a great team of people behind you. Like 2022 is going to continue to be awesome. So
yes, it will be a fun year. It's going to be a very fun year.
I'm proud.
I foresee lots of like baby stuff happening, like product wise, like little month cards and everything like that. It's gonna be fun.
I can see that happening too. Mm-hmm. So it'll fit. It works. Well, I mean, we kind of already talked about what we're looking forward to next year. I feel like it would be kind of like redundant if we did it. But if you have any last minute thoughts.
Any final words? No, I don't really have any last minute thoughts, I guess. No. I don't know. 2022 is going to look so different for both of us. So it's going to be exciting to see how it turns out. And so our 2022 year in review will be like very interesting.
I know. You guys, like, honestly, thank you for like sticking with us as all of this has changed so much, because we know a lot of you hopped on this train at the beginning when both Cami and I were doing like wedding stationery. That was how, I don't know, we got so much traction in this industry doing resources for like stationers specifically. But you guys have stuck it out, and now we do products, we do course management stuff, we do all sorts of different things. But so is life. I guess things evolve and change, and there will be so much more to talk about in 2022. We have not run out of things to talk about.
I'm out of breath, but I'm not out of things to talk about, okay?
Which is a good place to be. So, you guys, we hope you have a wonderful, happy holiday season. Merry Christmas, Merry Hanukkah, Happy New Year, all of that great stuff. Did I say Merry Hanukkah? Happy New Year. All of the things that are being celebrated. Merry happy holidays.
Yes, you guys.
We love you guys.
Best holiday season, and have a very good, restful New Year's break. And let's all go into 2022 with some positivity. Get ready to crush it. I can't wait to see what you guys do this year.
Yep. All right. Love you guys. Have a good one.
Love y'all. Bye.
Bye. Hey guys, we just wanted to hop in and talk about one of our amazing resources, the A to Z directory. All of us have thought at some point, how did she do that, or how did she make that? And maybe you don't know where to start or how the heck to produce this amazing product you've dreamt up.
Well, the A to Z directory is the missing puzzle piece in your biz, you guys, seriously. So it's built in the form of a yearly membership, and it's your one-stop shop for finding suppliers and vendors for all the things. Literally where to print everything from custom invitations, greeting cards, mugs, koozies, acrylic printing, letterpress, custom ribbon. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And it literally goes from A to Z. From acrylic printers to zipper pouches, we have it in the A to Z directory.
We want to help all of you search less and create more with this list of 300 plus vendors and suppliers. Don't worry, they're very organized. It's not going to be overwhelming and confusing when you join. And this membership also includes access to a private Facebook community. It's incredibly active and involved. And if you need a question answered fast, that is definitely the place to go.
Yeah, our Facebook group really is the best. You guys, everyone is so helpful in there. And we're in there too, answering questions you guys might have. So it's a great way to get access to us and ask us things without sliding into our DMs. So we're more likely to answer you in the Facebook group, just saying. Anyway, also in the Facebook group, this is new for 2020 and we're really excited about it. We are hosting monthly Power Hour Q&A sessions that are live, and these are only available to our A to Z directory members. So you can hop in with us live and ask us all your burning questions in real time and just hang out with us every month. And we do these at different times so you can actually be there live, and the replays are always available in the Facebook group for members.
This resource is priced at $147 a year, which honestly is extremely affordable and is full of so many benefits, such as exclusive vendor coupons for members only. And we would love to have you guys join. Seriously, it's kind of like our family and our tribe. So visit bizbirthdaybash.com/directory to sign up today and use coupon code podcast2020 to receive $20 off your first year. That's podcast, all caps, 2020 for $20 off your first year.
We can't wait to see you in the Facebook group.